All right, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of Tacos in Europa. I am Jorge,
My name is Edgar.
and we have a lot of football to talk about this week, guys. So let's go ahead and kind of rush it and start as soon as we possibly can. But before, we're gonna let you guys know that this is the only podcast that talks to you about all the Mexican footballers in Europe in two language. We talk about everybody wherever they are. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, any social media, and listen to us on your favorite podcast platforms and on YouTube. But let's get started. ENG, we have Fulham with Raul Jimenez, 2 games played. One of them against Tottenham in between the week on Monday.
A derby again.
A London derby, Ham versus Ham. He comes in the 46th minute in the second half, but he only has like 15 touches, 1 shot on goal, and then a goal that should have gone in, a very clear miss.
Yeah, it's understandable. It's against probably the best team in the league right now, but still, Fulham is just like stuck. They haven't. I feel they have played worse and worse.
Yeah.
As the season has gone on, same as the next team we're going to talk about. But
yeah.
I mean, Raul is being Raul. You know, like he's close. There's like something stuck in his head. Something is blocked.
Yeah.
And you can see it in the next game against Brighton. It was awful. Even though the result was a little bit better.
Yeah, that last game was a 2-0 loss, by the way. And right now against Brighton, we have a 1-1 draw. So the result does get a little better. And he actually comes on as a starter, which is something that we thought was going to be done for the rest of the season, but they wanted to give him another chance. But he didn't really do much with it, man.
Yeah, no, it was awful. All of Fulham. The goal was like gifted. But
yeah.
And Brighton are, again, really good. But, I mean, he was off. That's all we can say.
Yeah, almost no touches and no shots at all. But let's go ahead and move on to the other team in London. We have West Ham with Edson Alvarez, 2 games here as well. Let's start off with the Europa League.
Let's see the third Ham in London.
The third Ham in London. And with the Europa League, man, a bit of a letdown because I guess Moyes wanted to rest his players for the mighty Everton. But what happened against Olympiacos, man? Talk to me.
I mean, they went all they thought it was going to be an easy game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they pulled out all the bench. You know, It was full bench and James Ward-Prowse.
That's it.
And that's it. That was the team. And they got their asses kicked because they underestimated Olympiacos way too much. I mean, it was so bad. West Ham had more Greek players on the field than Olympiacos.
Yeah, that's another one of those leagues where like they got a lot of foreigners in there, man. But yeah, if you guys are veterans to the podcast, you guys know Olympiacos over there with AK Athens in Greece. It's a force to reckon with, man. It's a good squad. So, I mean, compared to West Ham, I get it.
This season they have been better.
Yeah, compared to West Ham, I understand. It is what it is. It's a 2-1 loss here in the Europa League, but they are still at the top of the group, so no worries too much there for West Ham. Let's go over to the league, man. Versus Everton, we have a 1-0 loss. That's the 3rd game in a row lost for West Ham and David Moyes.
I mean, but the other 2 games there, it was understandable to a degree. You know, like, you're playing like they have lost against City, and I don't remember which was the other. They have lost in the league as well twice in a row. It was City and then Arsenal, I think. So it was understandable. But you go to Everton and you need to win. They're awful.
Yeah.
But they played a low block. They gave the ball away to West Ham and they did nothing to it. And Edson was just like trying to help out, like giving long passes, playing a decent enough game. But the rest of the team was awful. And a lot comes down to the forwards. They're not solving the game because they shot more than Everton, but the shots were way worse.
They took out Antonio pretty early in the game as well, pretty early in the second half. So like he wasn't giving them much on that one. But talking about Edson Alvarez a little more, I just want to say like he did 2 things that I really loved. The first one was he got the yellow, so he is going to miss the game against Brentford, I believe it is. So that one's out of the way. And the second one was he had like 2 or 3 runs where it was just like he was moving the ball up with just strength, man. Like he was literally holding out 2 players and just moving out the ball, and he gave it over to the striker.
Yeah,
just like with just power.
How was he running? Was he running like an angry chimpanzee, like he told me last
just
week?
like a gorilla, man, just like powerful, man. And then he he went over and did that. So that was two things where like I feel like he's more comfortable with his role now in West Ham. So I'm seeing that from him a lot now in these past couple of games, and I'm happy for him, and I hope he's able to help this team get a couple wins.
Yeah, we used to say when he was an Ajax that he was a center back playing in midfield. You know, one that you need in midfield because he destroyed and he covered the other two center backs. He was that much of a defender. But now he's playing in the midfield and he's looking like a proper midfielder.
Yeah.
Like I never saw this much of a midfielder in him when he was at Ajax.
Yeah, it's that little that center back kind of like mentality where you're like your first thought is to kind of pass back to the keeper. Right now he's learning that, hey, I got to move forward. Now I'm part of the game, you know. Now I'm part of the forward game too.
But it's not only about safety.
Yeah, it's not only about safety. We got to start moving that ball a little bit. But let's go over to Spain, man. Talk about Real Betis first with Andrés Guardado. 2 games here as well. Only plays in one in the Europa League versus Aris Limassol in a 1-0 victory. He comes in the 79th minute. Did you see anything special from him? Anything different that we should talk about? Or
I mean, it was one of those games for him, you know, like he came in to finish the game and it was fine.
Yeah.
You know, he was perfect because all he did went well, but he didn't do all that much because it was
the little things he had were perfect.
Yeah. He's good. I mean,
and they had a win against Osasuna in the league 2-1. So they finally are able to win a game that they should be winning. I know the last 2 that were easy. I think it was I forgot the teams, easier teams. They were tied them. So finally they're able to get an easy win for them. So it helped them out in that table win.
Yeah.
But let's go over to Las Palmas. We have a Mexican versus a Mexican. Julián Araujo versus Almería and Cesar Montes in a 2-1 win against Almería. Let's talk about Araujo first because he only came in the 82nd, so it'll be quick. Only had 8 touches. Perfect 8 touches. He only had a 1 pass, and it was a key pass. Other than that, not much to do. He just kind of came in to maybe get some fresh legs out and, you know, just kind of work his way back into starting 11 after the injury.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're easing him into it. You know, like they're like protecting him. They don't want him to get injured again, and that's good. Yeah. That's good to see the team is that much like care for him. You know.
Yeah.
So that's good, and that's the team of this week. You know, Mexican against Mexican.
Yeah. It's like we got a couple. This is the first one.
We got a couple
versus Araujo. Let's talk about Montes, man. Almería 1-2 loss.
He was off. I mean, all of Almeria was awful, but Montes was part of the worstest awfulness in the
and with a yellow card.
That is the defense. Yes, with a yellow card because of course it's a yellow card.
Yeah, and he comes out in the picture of both of those goals. The second one, he tries to stop it. I don't know if it was the right back or the right midfielder, but he does like a weird pass right to the opposing player, Las Palmas player, and that's when like the goal comes out. So the mistake was from that guy, but then Montes isn't able to stop it. So he comes out. It's kind of like the same thing in the both. He just isn't able to stop it.
They play like the 4 defenders don't know each other. Mm-hmm. And it's very weird because we're 3 months in. They should know better.
I mean, it's like a lot of things we talk about. Like Montes has been like with the national team, and then he came in late, and then he's coming like they haven't given him a time to just settle down and just kind of like be with his team. Man.
That's not an issue anymore. He missed a FIFA window to stay with the team, and it's not like Almeria is full of international stuff. They couldn't train, you know, like it's probably Montes out 2 other guys from Egypt or something.
Hopefully they're able to do something soon, man, because they're deep in that hole. It's still not over. I think to get out, they need 9 points. They have 3 right now. They're literally in last place. So that relegation battle is tough. But if they can start getting a win in the next match, it'll be good for them. It'll look good. There'll be some type of light.
Kind of weird, isn't it? We have 2 last places in this, like in a bunch of players.
Yeah, and great segue, man. I like the little lob so I can dunk it. That's a good segue to another Mexican versus Mexican. Johan Vázquez versus Memo Ochoa, which is the last place. Salernitana. Let's talk about Memo first, since it'll be a little faster. Salernitana does lose this match 1-0. Memo stops 3 great shots. and only one of them goes in, obviously. And other than that, that's pretty much all they have, man. The goal that they scored was golazo, bro, from outside the box.
Yeah, I mean, and it wasn't only like the goal was a proper like screamer, but the other shots that because Genoa built a lot of opportunities and Memo stopped them. Maybe the big ones were like two or three, but those were like real dangerous. Like two clear goal opportunities, he just shut them out.
Yeah.
So I would say he had a great game.
Yeah, I think a great keeper game. I hope this is able to give him the starting spot once again over the other guy that didn't really do too much. I think it was a similar game because he didn't stop like that little, but still, I think I would put a veteran in there more than him. But let's go ahead and talk about Johan Vasquez real quick in this 1-0 win, man. What 90 minutes he had, man. Talk to me about those.
You could take my word for it, or you could go and see a Serie A Twitter page, the Italian one, not the Spanish or English one.
Yeah.
And they were all over him. They were, oh, look at his heat map. He was all over the place. And it's just like,
it's crazy. Yeah.
It was the whole left of the field was all red, but on the left, wherever he played, he was all over the place. He was great.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the key too. When you have like the original account for the league tweeting you, because the Spanish one always like they always gas up like the Latin American stuff like that, so it's different. But when it's the main account, that's how you know, man. That's how you know it's like you did something right.
Yeah, he has been great on the ball. It's really, really impressive how better he is with the ball on his feet than in the previous seasons. It's just way different.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't talked all season about his passes and how they're like not improving. Like it's just like, I mean, it's not even a topic anymore. Like,
we have been talking about it because it's so good. That's the impressive thing. So I'm really happy for him. I feel he will change teams soon or just keep on improving. I don't know.
I can't wait for him to be like at a very like special team. I think it's gonna be a great piece for anybody that's gonna need a center back. Let's go over to the land of the Mexicans, man. Netherlands. Starting off with Feyenoord again with 2 games, and we finally are able to see the debut of Santi Jimenez in the Champions League versus his one and only son, Lazio.
His sworn enemy.
Yeah, like I don't know what they did.
The romance.
But it's like the it's just like he has like a little punching bag with just like the Lazio logo on there. Every morning he just goes out and hits it. A doblete against his team. 2 goals. He plays 79 minutes as a starter, obviously. Talk to me about this match, bro. Again. Talk to me about this match.
I mean, it was... We have been saying how much of a full striker he is becoming, how he's good outside the box, inside the box, how much he has become more of a focal point for Feyenoord and how much they are basing their attack system around him. And this whole game was proof of that, because they were creating all about what he was making the space of. He was in the box and drawing the center backs, and wherever he went, he was pulling defenders. And the whole game was playing with that space he was creating. And there was this guy, we don't usually talk about him. We talk more about Paxiao and Timber, and I don't remember like the other guys that are so good at creating and giving him balls. But this guy Stinks, he was amazing.
That new right winger.
He plays all the 3 spots behind Santi. So anyway, he was amazing. Even though Santi did score those 2 goals, and it could have been 3, I think he was the better player in that game. He did so much for Santi and the team. He was unstoppable. Yeah, he is really good, and he is really good for Santi.
Yeah, and it's one of those games where Santi just finishes, man. Just what he gets, he just bags it. So it was an amazing game for all of Feyenoord, because you're going against a team that's playing. Now, when does Feyenoord struggle? Sometimes when you play against a team that just carries back, and they play against a Twente team in the league. They get a 2-1 loss in here. This Twente team, to me, I think this is how Almeria should play. It was just like a 4-4-2, very compact, very far back, with a lot of pressure on that Feyenoord attack, man. And they would just, anytime they would get close, they would just lose the ball and start the counter. It was beautiful, man. It was a great game for Twente.
Yeah, they were playing a very like compact low block, just waiting for Feyenoord, and that's Feyenoord's like kryptonite. You know, you could see the problems Santi has with the national team with this game.
That's a
like,
perfect example.
You see, it's not only like Feyenoord is so good and the rest of the Mexican team is so bad. No, whenever you're not giving true balls to Santi, he struggles.
Yeah,
that's the thing, because there was no space for him to play, and he was trying to draw the center backs, but they were so compact. There was no space. You could see why Feyenoord was beaten when you see how many times Santi touched the ball, and I counted them. It was 17. That's for almost 90 minutes of play.
17 times.
That's awful.
Yeah, and out of that, only one shot, which was blocked. 2 out of 10 duels, man. 0 in the air. That's a first for me. I've seen 0 in the air duels for Santi is crazy to me, man. But yeah, it was a pretty bad game for all the Feyenoord. You could tell the fatigue from the midweek game. So it's not 100% just like the players were bad. Even the goal that they scored, it was just like a corner. They got lucky, got through that side, and he just went for it. But Twente had an amazing defensive game, bro. Like, they did not even come close to scoring in the open play.
Very unlike the Eredivisie for them, you know, like usually even when you are like a lowly team, they don't like to play low blocks. They hate it. It's not in their DNA. And this Twente was just like closed and fuck you.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're third or fourth right now. That'd be a good spot to watch out for some Mexicans to land there, man. It's a good team.
It was. I like I know people just say, oh, if you're going to the Eredivisie, unless you're going to Ajax, Feyenoord, or PSV, what the hell are you going there?
Yeah.
I feel Twente will be a really good place.
Tecatito would like to have a word with you guys, man.
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead with the next Mexican in Netherlands, which is going to be...
Just read it. After this game, they are third.
Third. Yeah, dude, they're going
on
crazy.
Top of Feyenoord. On top of
Oh, who's first? PSV?
They're perfect. I'm talking about perfect.
Talking about perfect segues. PSV, Chucky, Lozano first in the Champions League once again versus Lens. And this was the battle for like who the fifth league is. This was like it was such a even pairing. I was expecting PSV to run through this Lens team, but it was so matched.
Aren't Lens like in the 50th place on League One?
They have like their moments in the league, but right now they're not doing too. Like, that's why I was expecting PSV with their crazy attack, dude. I thought it was gonna be a cakewalk, man. It ended up being a 1-1 tie.
Whenever PSV plays against a team that can attack, they lose a little bit of their standing. They're so weak in the back that they need to have the ball always. So I could see why they struggle.
The best play he had was that one shot at the end of the first.
Yes.
Dude, man, just grazed the bar at the top there.
Yes, he was really, and he was good. You know, I don't know if I would say he was the best of PSV, because Bakayoko has been really solid, and the rest of the team,
man, what a goal, bro. Yeah.
So I wouldn't say he's the best, but he's like he's slotting into his space, and you can tell he really like slotted right into the left wing, because in the next game against a sad team, they won 5-2.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just a relegation team, you know. So
talking about teams at the bottom of the table, full on last place. The ex-Giants of the Eredivisie, Ajax.
The complete opposite of Giants, the Ajax, fighting for their life to get out of that relegation zone, man. And they gave them a run for their money, because they went up in the scoreboard twice. Yeah, they went up in the scoreboard twice, and then that's when PSV said, you know what, like, I just remembered you guys are in last place. And then they just scored another 3 on them, dude, with none other than a hat trick from El Chucky Lozano, who seems to be back, man. Do you think he's back?
Not yet, but he's getting there. I feel he needs a little more chemistry with the young.
Yeah.
They used to be unstoppable. They're not quite yet there.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I think the coach also, I hope he sees this a little bit and is able to kind of trust him a little more. I think he took the opportunity for Lang's injury very well. The last game, we were saying that we didn't like it a lot. And then right now, he did we know we were joking, it's like a last place team, but Ajax is still Ajax. You're able to show it against them. I think this is great, bro, because not everybody's scoring hat tricks against Ajax, man.
I mean, the other Mexican did, but
who's counting, right?
Yeah, 2 Mexicans in there. They visit 2 hat tricks.
Hey, man, you gotta be careful.
I mean, what not having a Mexican in your team does
that's
to a
the key, bro.
motherfucker,
You gotta just, if you don't want to get hat trick, just get a Mexican, bro. What are they doing? They know this, and they know this too.
I mean, I really like Ajax. I like the team, their concept, their building plan. They're buying these like promising young players from all over the world and converting them in these very philosophical. What is the like very solid system, year after year after year for decades. I really respect that, but I'm missing the word. Like they're so stuck in their ways that they have a lot of problems. Even though most of the problems, because with this squad they should be way higher. The squad isn't that bad, but the problems is in the administrative wing of the team. You know, like it's a mess. It's a garbage fire. So I hope they were better.
Yeah, I mean,
we laugh a lot, but if Ajax gets relegated, it's a tragedy for football.
It really is, and for us too. As that's one of like the places. Always, this is what first year and how many that they haven't had a Mexican in their squad. Like we're on the same boat here. Like we're not hoping anything bad for this team at all, man. Because they'll get another one eventually if they're able to stay up. Well, they will stay up, but you know what I mean.
Hopefully.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and go to Belgium. Talk about KRC Genk, Gerardo Arteaga, who plays in the Conference League, which was again another surprise because they were resting all the starters last week to play this game. So I figured he was gonna be on the bench for this one, but we're able to see 90 minutes from him, and nothing too much here. And then the next game against Koršnik in the league is a 3-0 win once again. And this one, he's not even on the bench for. I believe they just completely wanted to give him some rest. And let's see what the coach's plan is for this.
Maybe he was sick or something.
Yeah, maybe he asked for it. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but it's just I'm sure it's nothing too serious. I think the coach is just trying to figure out what to do with him. Talking about Jorge Sanchez, man, over in Portugal. We have first minutes in the Champions League against Antwerp. A lot of surprises this week, man. A lot of surprises.
Again, no, because he had in the first game of the Champions League this season, he had like 10 minutes.
Yeah. So this wasn't his debut. And he entered in the 65th, 4-1. Not really a lot to do. I think they were already winning 2-1 when he came in, so they just kind of...
There's a reason why he came in so early. Because the left back was injured, so they put João Mario, this really, really good right back. The one that I told you, Jorge is not going to play because he's good. This guy is so good.
Yeah.
They pull him to the left. Like, he's so good, he can play on the left.
Yeah.
And they put Jorge in the right. And he looked fine. Like, he wasn't out of place with Porto.
At least for those 20-some minutes that he played, I think he was pretty decent. He was pretty solid. They still won 4-1. They didn't score anything on them while he was on the field. And speaking of that switch that you're talking about, that also enabled them to give us our first 90 minutes in Portugal against Vizela in a 2-0 win. So he gets that clean sheet, and he was pretty decent once again, man. I didn't see anything wrong with him.
I mean, you need to be pretty bad to not have a clean sheet against Vizela.
Hey, bro, like you want me to pull up the tape from last season?
Fair enough. I mean, to be fair, the center back that is covering him is fucking Pepe.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just like, if I fuck up, he's gonna kill me.
Yeah, it's like he's scared on both sides. Nowhere
So
safe.
nowhere safe. So no, he had a good game against a like weaker opponent, but still, we are used to seeing him like struggle against really weak teams. So
Yeah.
he was fine.
Yeah, it was decent. He still had like a decent amount of stats. I think the most notable ones gonna be had his key pass, couple defensive actions. Duels were kind of low, and the two finishes that we see once again, he was dribbled past twice, and 0 out of 2 crosses were completed. So kind of like not improving yet, but maybe with time we'll be able to see something. Let's go
Hopefully
ahead and go
Pepe didn't punish him too much for those.
Yeah, hey, if he sends a cross, we know why. Senta la Coron. All right, going over to Greece, AEK Athens. We have 2 games here. Once again, a Europa League against Marseille. 3-1 loss for Orbelin Pineda and AEK Athens. Nothing from Pizarro in this week. We have 90 minutes from Orbelin with a goal in the Europa League.
Yes.
How does that make you
Great
feel?
goal. Great
Beautiful
goal.
The
Like
only one for Athens.
Proper thing goal. You know, like he was like a second striker, just outside of the box and arriving late and getting the ball and just making space right in. He was really, really good in that play.
And the second one was in the league against Asteras. 3-0 win. Comes in the 45th. And yeah, we see a better Athens every time he comes in, man. I think it's just one of those players that is able to revive the team. Very interesting. Going over to Luis Chavez over in Russia. I just want to stay real quick. He is going crazy over there. 90 minutes.
Yes.
Amazing. He was doing everything. Defend, attack, contention. 2 out of 2 dribbles. 9 out of 12 duels on the ground. 6 defensive actions. 2 key passes, man. He is going crazy over there. I hope someone picks him up and takes him to a bigger league next season. All right, man.
Hopefully.
All right, and now to finish off, let's talk about the under 23 team, man. We had 3 games here. We have 1 of each. A loss, a tie, and a win. The first one is against Chile, 0-1. The second one is a tie against Dominican Republic, a 0-0. And then the last one is the one that saves us, a 1-0 win against Uruguay, which is really the only one worth talking about. It's a great game by Jordan Carrillo and Monroy, who I think were the ones that were moving the strength all game, and Monroy was just helping so much on the defense as well. Ambris does miss a penalty there at the beginning, so it could have been a 2-1 possibly, but either way, that win and a loss from the Dominican Republic are able to see us to the next round of the Juegos Panamericanos against Brazil in the semifinals, man. Anything you want to comment about that?
Yeah, they're coming from worse to better. No, they're playing each game. They have been improving, so
Yeah,
that's good. Sadly, Lira and Ambris aren't mixing quite well yet. I hope they're gonna be better. And Carrillo is playing better because the first game it was a tragedy. He was awful.
right now he remembered, man. He remembered he's a soccer player, and he just went out there. What an assist, man! We recommend you guys go watch that.
A what player?
Oh Lord. A football player.
Okay.
And he remembered he was a football player, and man, we recommend you guys go watch that assist, man, because it is something of beauty. Who was your player of the week, Inke? Who'd you got?
I mean, this is a difficult week.
Yeah.
So I think I have to go with Santi, even though Chucky had 2 good games and Santi had a pretty bad one. Whenever you win so well and playing so much better than the opposition of a higher league than you,
Yeah.
you gotta give it to Santi.
All right. I guess we're gonna disagree with this one. I'm gonna give it to Chucky on this one. That hat streak, I think it was beautiful, man. I think he did great in both games to kind of show that he wants it, to show his team that he wants to be a part of the system, not just wants to be the hero. I think he kind of toned it down a little bit right now.
Yes.
And I hope he's able to keep doing that, to earn the trust of his teammates.
Hopefully.
All right. What was your favorite game this week?
Oh, Feyenoord Lazio.
Oh, I guess we're staying with a player of the week then, because mine was PSV Ajax.
I mean, you could say that was like better, like emotional game, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was a blowout. Ajax was shattered by the half.
I mean, that first half was crazy. Like it could have gone either way. It wasn't until like midway through the second where it was like, okay, this game is done. But that first what was hour and a half is just like intense, man. Both teams were going at it. I was expecting Ajax to actually come up with a win at some point, so it was really good. But yeah, I agree that Europa League team. I mean the Champions League game is Champions League, man. Hard to beat.
Exactly. That's my point. It's a proper Champions League debut and everything else. So
Yeah, it had everything. It had everything. We
I
needed.
mean, in both teams, player and game, there's nothing wrong with both.
Yeah.
It was great.
You know
Both
what?
great.
I'll switch to I'll switch to the game. I'll keep my player of the week, but I'll switch to the game. I'm agree with you with Feyenoord and Lazio. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
fair.
All right, man. You got any news for this week?
Well, you put something here that I didn't know about, like.
Oh yeah, we had a unlikely assist by Juan Portales in the Scottish Premiership. How about that?
Yeah, but great to
Something.
hear. Whenever we hear about these little players that we're not really following all that much, it's good to hear. So, like, if you want more of these, just stay around and comment down
actually,
there.
I actually have one more that I forgot to write. Jesus Hernandez, another goal for Elche.
Oh, but I did write it. They're talking
nice.
about
Let me see it.
they want him to go to the
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 first
main team. They asking for it because apparently they need someone to push the ball into the goal.
He's right there,
And
man.
Jesus Hernandez is exactly what he
I don't know
does,
what
so,
they're waiting for, bro.
yeah, I mean, it's not like they have much to lose.
Yeah.
And something else, what Santi to Tottenham, and what was the other one?
It was Madrid and
Tottenham and someone else. Okay, it was a rumor, and it was like smoke from someone else, and Santi put it on his socials. If you don't hear from me or my father, it's nothing. Like, don't worry about anything else. And Chivas still suck, and Marcelo Flores scored his first professional goal. We're happy about him against Chivas. Again, they still suck.
yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, it was a very good goal by Marcelo as well. We're running out of time here,
Yes.
guys, so we're gonna have to cut it short. But make sure you listen to the next episode once again. A lot of good football, a lot of cups, a lot of the leagues are having their cup matches. So be sure to be here to listen about that. Listen to us on your favorite podcast platform and on YouTube. We'll see you guys next week. Don't miss it. Have a good one.